Welcome back to NewsMakers. On the panel this week, Bruce Ansley, Roger Sutton and Ross Gumbley. Well, he's done it before, can he do it again? New Zealand First is planning to contest the next election, and Winston Peters clearly intends leading his party back from the wilderness. Winston claims that he will be building an army to take back this country. What do we make of this militant rhetoric? Would you ever write him off? Ross?
Look, there's many times as I have in the past and been wrong. You know, I mean, each time you think, well, nobody's going to fall for this rhetoric. Nobody's going to fall for this approach. Everybody can see the machinations of what he wants to achieve and where he wants to be. And surely we're not going to believe that. And every time he comes back. So, you know, I think you'd be a brave man if you put too much against him. But surely this time, surely this is too hollow, isn't it?
What do you think, Bruce?
Well, it'd be Dad's army, for sure. But he was only, I think, 0.2% away from squeezing a whole bunch of people into Parliament this time.
Yeah.
He got more than twice ACT's vote. So, I mean, it wasn't if he was wiped clean off the board. He wasn't. He was within a hair's breadth. And I think we'll see him back next time.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Roger?
I'm not sure how he'd do it. You know, I don't think he lives in Tauranga any longer. I think he's going to lose that support base he had there. Michael Laws this week coming back, I saw is actually Michael Laws saying, bother, you know, Winston might make a comeback. Time I actually got out there and I made myself a bit from a face of it, so I can actually be the face of New Zealand First going forward. So I'd actually be surprised, and in fact I'd be relieved if he didn't come back, because for the last few elections I've been voting actually just to keep him out rather than doing a positive vote. So it would actually allow me to make a positive vote in the future.
I just wonder if, I mean, given National seem to be taking a very careful middle-of-the-road, don't upset anyone, centrist course, are they leaving that sort of centre-right flank of the political spectrum wide open for the likes of ACT and New Zealand First?
But I think he's such a hard guy to work with. I think he's such a very, very hard guy for anyone to work with. I think they'd actually prefer to keep him out. I think they'd prefer to work with people who are a little bit more predictable. You know,
How do you define him anyway? I mean,
what does he stand for?
Is he centre-right? Is he centre-left? I don't know. He always has trouble explaining his policies to anybody, and he always refuses to publish them until right on the eve of the election.
Do you miss him for the theatre of politics he brought to the nation?
Well, yeah, I do. I do miss that. I mean, it's great to hear something on television where you can actually get impassioned and go, "That's ridiculous! Can't believe you're saying that." But where are the characters in politics? I mean, even internationally, we seem to be going through a very murky time. You know, Barack Obama's probably the exception that proves the rule of interesting politicians. I mean, where are they in New Zealand politics? Where are the Longies? You know, the Kirks, the Muldoons?
That's true.
And he did add that colour that at least, you know, and he's always good for a soundbite.
Yeah. Well, on the local front, a suburban squabble in Papanui has vaulted itself onto the national news agenda. Australasia's largest toy world opened a few weeks ago in Cranford Street. Yeah, that's the biggest down under. And next door, its new neighbour is going to be Gun City. Is there something unsavoury about toys and guns mixing it on the shopping block, or is this much ado about nothing? Bruce?
Well, a lot of people say they're more or less the same thing, don't they? That's probably a good, it's not so much a juxtaposition as a handy kind of sight. But no, in my view, seriously, that we shouldn't have any gun shops at all. So I don't care where they go. Where they go to me is totally irrelevant. I can't see people rushing in for a toy train and thinking, why don't we just duck next door and pick up a 303 while we're about it.
Isn't the joke, though, actually at Gun City, or not at Gun City, at Toy World, you can buy a toy AK-47, you can buy a toy just about anything violent. So if we're going to worry about where Gun City is, then I think maybe we should clean Toy World out and get rid of all their toy guns and toy grenades and all their violent videos, if they sell violent videos. So
and get serious.
Yeah, and get serious. So, yeah.
Well, actually, David Tipple, who is, of course, Mr. Gun City, made the point on, I think, Breakfast TV the other day that Toy World Westport have a firearms section where you can buy an AK-47 with Thomas the Tank engine.
Yes.
Well, they must be worried then, mustn't they? You know, I mean, the competition's going to be immense.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have to get a licence for those ones with a pistol grip? I don't know. I mean, it's a storm in a teacup, I think.
Ah. By the way, given that, in all seriousness, the great bulk of violent crime in Christchurch when it comes to weapons is based on knives, should we be looking at banning stores from not selling knives in suburbia. Could this lead us to a new nirvana?
I think we're all taking big size here, Mike. I mean, how does that work? And that's the reality. You know?
Most of them are supposed to be kitchen knives.
Yes, yes.
No more cook shops.
That's true, yes.
Because, I mean, the thing is that the problem isn't the gun, is it? It's the person that's behind it pulling the trigger. That's the issue.
Exactly,
and
Mr.
I mean, anything could be a dangerous weapon. Even your jacket.
Yes. Yes, this has been noted. Yes. Now, just a quickie on supermarket bags. You've probably heard that up north, foodstuffs supermarkets all over the North Island have pulled the plug on charging customers for the plastic bags as of today. And at last report, foodstuffs in the South Island are standing firm and will continue to charge you for bags. Do you begrudge this niggly little charge, or is it a laudable initiative, Mr. Sutton?
Well, I think it was a great initiative by the New World guys and so on. And I think we need some gutsy people out there saying, look, they've changed to New World as a result of it. They've moved away from Pack and Save. Is it? No,
Countdown.
Countdown and Woolworths because of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's laudable, but I think we also need to be careful that, you know, supermarket bags are one form of waste and packaging we don't really need. You know, what other ridiculous packaging are we buying every time we go to the supermarket?
Labels on apples. Get rid of those things.
Absolutely. Isn't it awful? I absolutely agree. But there's just so much rubbish, ridiculous packaging, and doing something really positive in the supermarkets to take back your packaging, whether it be the yogurt containers or the milk containers, and reusing them will be a really positive initiative. And that's the sort of aggressive thing I'd be doing back right now if I was running in the local New World supermarket.
Very nice one.
I think I don't mind paying the 5 cents, but I'm amazed at the trouble I go to avoid paying the 5 cents. You know, I'll walk into the supermarket, forget I've got my green bag sitting out on the.
You're sounding like
they need someone at the door reminding, go back and get your bags. They do. It's so frustrating. I've had the same thing.
Have to pay 5 cents.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You're sounding like a pensioner, Bruce. I'm worried. Ross, do you have a concern about this charge?
No.
Right.
And every time I pay it, I think, damn, I should have bought that bag. I think it's in the back of the car or it's in the garage. I should have bought it with me. And so, I mean, I don't know, another 50 trips and maybe it'll have an effect on me and I'll be able to. It's odd, though, with supermarkets, isn't it? You're right. I mean, am I the only one? Food looks better. Fruit and vegetables look better than they ever have and taste worse than they ever have. What's that about?
It's not progress, is it?
No, I don't think so.
You've got to remove the label before you eat it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's terrible when you get a paper cut off your Brayburn.
This is true. Now, coming up, booze at the school ball and the beer swilling behaviour in the rugby dressing room. Yes, that's next.